Everyone should have a will. It's really important. Even if you think you've got nothing to leave, nobody knows when they're going to die. And you could win the lottery and then die the next day. If you die without a will, your estate is subject to the intestacy rules. And they take no account of people who live together, for example. So your cohabitant would get nothing. A will is important because without it your estate will be subject to the intestacy rules, which are completely inflexible. I think when you work hard all your life you want to be able to decide where your property goes to, and the will allows you to do that. Also, if you're likely to have an estate that's going to be taxable, then a will allows you to include tax planning provisions and also to do things like appoint guardians. If someone doesn't make a will and therefore dies intestate, the law sets out a list of beneficiaries that inherit in a particular order. First of all, if you're married, you've got your spouse or civil partner, and then there's a list of blood relatives who benefit. In the event that you don't have a spouse or civil partner and you leave no relatives behind at all, then ultimately the state take your estate. Or you could have a circumstance where maybe you do have some relatives, but you've never even met them, and they might take everything. Probate is the name people use to describe the process of dealing with a deceased estate. What it actually involves depends on the size and complexity of the estate. And here at Meade King, we deal with all sizes of estate, but where we can really add value is where there are opportunities to save tax, which a layperson, however competent, might not be aware of. We're also able to ensure that an executor understands his duties so that he's not exposed to personal liability, and we can make sure that all the deadlines are met. In relation to trusts, we're often instructed by business people who have created a lot of wealth and want to protect those assets, benefit other people and make tax savings by lifetime gifts. In addition, we're often instructed by people who buy property with others as co-owners and want a document, a declaration of trust, setting out the share that they own in that property. People who buy property together without such a document often forget over time what was agreed or disagree over what was agreed, and in those circumstances, without a declaration of trust, then they often end up in the court.